All right. Hello. My name is Leslie Roth. I am a member of the May 30th Alliance. The May 30th Alliance is a direct action organization located in Rockford, Illinois, that is dedicated to the struggle to end police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice. The May 30th Alliance began an occupation at the City Hall in Rockford, Illinois, right up East State Street here, on October 3rd, 2020. After on October 2nd, 2020, Tyrus Jones was shot while he was running away, an unarmed black man shot by Rockford Police Department officer Dominic McNeese. Our occupation continued, the occupation of City Hall continued through the end of November, when Officer Dominic McNeese would be found to be justified in his attempted murder of Tyrus Jones and would be sent back into the community in which he was brutalizing people. Our occupation will continue through January 5th, 2021, when Denzel Duvant will be mercilessly beat at the hands of multiple Rockford Police Department officers while he was also unarmed. And one of the officers that was involved in that merciless assault would be Rockford Police Department officer Dominic McNeese, who just months earlier had been found justified in the attempted murder of an unarmed black man. Our occupation will continue through April 10th, 2021, when Faustin Guaitigo will be murdered inside of his home by Winnebago County Sheriff Deputy Joseph Brulard and his cohorts. Our occupation will continue when no more than 24 hours later, Rockford Police Department officer Owen McGinnis would shoot 19-year-old Jose Gonzalez Jr. while he was running away. Our occupation will continue through April 25th, 2021, when after a high-speed pursuit took place in the streets of Rockford, Illinois, putting at risk and at danger every motorist and pedestrian that was in the area, the car that was being pursued at high rates of speed by the Rockford Police Department crashed into a car that was being driven by Raymond Jackson and occupied by his two young children. That led to the death of Raymond Jackson and to the critical injuring of the two young children. Our occupation continued when up through about 10 days ago, Jay Hanley, Winnebago County State's attorney, would justify the murder of Faustin Guaitigo inside of his home and would send Joseph Brulard back into the streets to endanger members of the community. Our occupation will continue when no more than 2 weeks from now, or maybe a little more than 2 weeks from now, Jose Gonzalez Jr.'s shooting is ruled to be justified, and Owen McGinnis, the officer that endangered the community, will be sent back out onto the streets to further endanger the community. Our occupation will continue through the justification of Raymond Jackson's death in the high-speed pursuit, in which the officers who were involved with the high-speed pursuit will go back into the community and put people in danger. And so we want to say justice for Tyrus Jones, justice for Denzel Duvant, justice for Faustin Guaitigo, justice for Jose Gonzalez Jr., and justice for Raymond Jackson. With the realization that there will be some people who will have understanding and empathy for Tyrus Jones, but will not have it for Denzel Duvant. Or people who will have it for Denzel Duvant, but they will not have it for Jose Gonzalez Jr. Or they will have it for Jose Gonzalez Jr., but they won't have it for Raymond Jackson. Or they have it for Raymond Jackson and they won't have it for Faustin Guaitigo. And it is our responsibility and duty as members of this community, at the point in which people have empathy and understanding for one of these cases, to extrapolate out and articulate how each case of police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice is directly and indirectly connected to the other, and how each one of us as members of this community are directly and indirectly affected by acts of police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice. I will now pass it over to a fellow member of the May 30th Alliance to speak about the specifics that took place 24 hours ago outside of the Justice Center in Rockford, Illinois.
Hello, my name is Ari Perez. I'm a member of the May 30th Alliance. I'm going to be reading a prepared statement from the May 30th Alliance. Rockford, Illinois. On August 31st, 2021, approximately 5:30 p.m., the May 30th Alliance was doing a live video on Facebook discussing the ongoing bench trial of a person who was arrested on October 5th, 2020, day 3 of the ongoing occupation outside of Rockford City Hall. Near the end of the video, at the 2-hour and 10-minute mark, there are a total of 7 shots fired. The first of these bullets flew past a member of the May 30th Alliance head. The last bullet that was fired hit the leg of the table that was being used for the live video. Members of the May 30th Alliance that were present at the time began to run and look for cover. Once the shooting was done, the May 30th Alliance found the bullet that hit the table, along with the spot in which the table was hit. All these actions, the shooting, the finding of the bullet, and the aftermath of these events, were all recorded on the Facebook Live and have been subsequently posted on all of the May 30th Alliance social media. A 911 call was made from West State Street in Avon at 5:33 p.m. with a report of shots fired. Rockford Scanner put out a story reporting that 2 separate reports were filed, with one saying the exact make and model of a vehicle in the area that had allegedly fired shots. One of the reports says that one person may have been injured. Today, a day after the fact, the Rockford Police Department would also put out a release stating that at approximately 5:33 p.m., an aggravated discharge incident occurred at West State Street in Avon. The victim called and alleged that an occupant of a car waved a handgun and fired 4 shots toward the vehicle, with 3 hitting the vehicle. A separate call was made at 5:46 p.m. from a community member with reports of shots fired at the Winnebago County Justice Center. At 5:54 p.m., Rockford Police Department officers would respond to the scene and minutes later speak to the person who made the 911 call. Earlier this morning, 3 Rockford Police Department officers came to City Hall to speak with the May 30th Alliance about a shots fired investigation. One of these officers would say they found shell casings at a crime scene. Today we will walk through all the alleged multiple crime scenes and the alleged areas in which police reports have been written about.
Okay, I'm gonna have to. We're gonna have to unscrew the phone. We're gonna unscrew the phone here, and the Nez guy has this camera over here, so we're gonna move these cameras around some, and then we also got another camera I see that's over here, so we just gonna move all the cameras. Let's move all the cameras towards the middle of the street, so we can first off start by showing people how far Avon Street is from here. And again, no, I think you got it. You got it. You want him to hold? You want? He said you can hold it. Yeah. Let's see if you can hold it for us. And so this. Okay, and so we want to just step out some to the street, so that way people can see where Avon Street is at from where we were at after these shots were fired. So you got to step to even get, watch out over here, to even get to a visible place of Avon Street, you got to at least step out this far. And we know for a fact that the bullets with trajectory went past through here. Okay, so Avon Street is at the lights that are down there. Again, I'm not sure how far everybody's cameras can go out and how far, and even if people's cameras can't go out, that lets you know how far it is. It is, you need good glasses to see it from here. It's the lights that are, it's 1, 2, 3, it's 3 intersections down from here. At least a quarter mile, and it's also to the left. From where they are saying, and it's a hill that's down. That should be also noted, that once you go down towards Kilburn, it's a hill that is over there that these bullets would have had to go over. So now that we see where Avon is at and where that area is at, because again, it should be remembered that the first call that came in speaking about a shooting taking place over at Avon. So for somebody who may be saying that, what's up? For somebody who may be saying that it was a coincidence and that it was what's the word that they use, a road rage incident, and the bullets just coincidentally came by us, it should be pointed out that where they are saying that road rage incident took place is not only, like you said, a quarter mile down, but it is also over to the side. It's also over to the side. So let's step over to where Terry, who had the closest encounter with the first bullets. Let's step over to where Terry was at. Ooh. Terry, what would you say? Would you say you was about right here? We'll give it a second.
Here.
Where would you say you was at?
Yeah, I was right here.
Right here.
I think I was right here.
Okay, so Terry is right here. Let's again just look over to where Avon is from here. For anybody who, I'm not sure how many people can be able to see, but that's past those lights that's over there. And so we know for a fact that at least the second bullet that flew this way. I could see it also from sitting here in this table. I could hear it, and I could see Terry's facial reaction as the bullet went by him. So that was within the first cluster of shots. At least the first two shots, that first cluster. So that means that the first cluster of shots had a bullet that came with this trajectory, and they would like us to believe that that was incidental. But also, the next bullet that we can account for is the last bullet. The next bullet we can wholly account for, the last bullet, we know for a fact hit the ground, and then bounced up and hit this. This is again, this is about right where we would have found it at. So we know for a fact that that bullet was being shot at an angle low enough where it could make it through here, even if, let's say, it skidded on one of these somewhere else further than here. For it to be able to get past that hill that we can see from this low, it means that it couldn't have been from over there in Avon. And then also, what is the chances that one of the first bullets in the cluster and the last bullet in the whole set of shootings both reached this area here? And also, we have to remember that they said 3 bullets were inside of the Jeep, or 3 bullets were inside of the car. Excuse me, it's not the Jeep is not the model that was said. That's a mistake. They said 3 bullets were inside of the car. So that bullet is there. Now, once this bullet hits the ground and tings here, that was the first moment in which I understood where the bullets were coming from. Up to that point, I heard the shots and the burst of shots, the cluster of shots, but I did not know where the bullets were coming from and what direction they were coming. Once that bullet hits the ground and tings against that table here, I know where the bullet's coming from, but the shooting has stopped. There's no more shots after that. But we take cover in anticipation of more shots. At that point, I had seen that nobody had been hit, so my next thought was there's going to be more shots coming. And again, they spoke about a car that went past. The last car that on camera, because again, all these things is documented on camera. You see me on camera give a wave to a car going past. It's about 35 seconds, 38 seconds at most between the wave I give to that car coming past and the time the first cluster of shots go off. With having somebody drive normal speed from here down to Avon Street, because we have on the video camera where you don't hear a tire skirting off, you don't hear nobody speeding, and you will be able to hear it. It took him 120 seconds, almost triple the time, to get from here to Avon Street, driving regularly. And so, again, to believe that this car was the one that was involved in shooting and we incidentally got hit with a few of these bullets would have to make us believe that this car drove faster than regular speed to get there. And if that happened, we would have heard it. The same thing. The police department statement released is phrased in a manner that says there were 4 shots that were fired at the initial incident, the incident that took place at 5:33, that the call came in for 5:33. We know for a fact in the whole area of the timing of 5:30, 5:35, 5:40, 5:45, that the only time it was any shooting that going on, it was 7 shots heard. We know that for a fact. If any shootings had happened beforehand, we would have had it documented on the audio on it. If any shootings happened afterhand, we would have had it documented in the audio on it. And so what the police department and the city of Rockford is trying to get you to believe is that at the same time that we heard 7 shots go off over here, that we seen trajectory come this way, that over there was also an incident where 4 shots went off at the same time, all the way down there on Avon and West State Street, and somebody seen it well enough to see the make and model of the car and to be able to describe the make and model of the car and the time that the shooting happened, but they said that that it happened up there by Avon where the light is at. When we know for a fact the only time it was documented shooting going on, it was in this area here. And again, what should be remembered is when you go back and you hear the audio of how loud the gunshot is, it is much louder than that because we have this mic plugged in. The same way we have now, this mic is set up in a purpose to capture specifically the audio going into it and in the areas directly around it. As opposed to if the mic would be unplugged and then the mic that's inside of these phones would be set up to capture all the full surrounding area and the full surrounding sound of the gunshots. So the fact that the gunshots were that loud with the mic that was not pointed at where the gun was at lets you know how closely the shots truthfully came from. And so we're supposed to believe that those gunshots that were that crisp to be heard to the point where we can hear the bullet ricocheting and hitting the table came from all the way down there on Avon Street. And are we also to believe that the people who called in this I didn't go by. Are we also to believe that the people who called this in and heard these 4 gunshots go off and was in the car and was in this area and called at the exact same time that we are saying that these shots went off, didn't hear these other 7 shots go off? They was close enough in that area where we heard all the gunshots over here, but they didn't hear the 4 that went off over there? And so again, it should be pointed out that it's cameras lined up all around the Justice Center over here. Just want to walk people through that. It's cameras lined up all around the Justice Center over here. This whole area right here, cameras lined up. As you go down this whole building, they got cameras lined up. Crusade, what's this called? What's this called? The food? What's it? Rescue, Rockford Rescue. When you go down there, it's cameras all down the side of there. Cameras all down the side of there. And so, 24 hours removed from all these things. Where's the video footage from all these things? And of course, what's going to be said is that it's an ongoing investigation and things of that nature. But the reason that they are doing, that's the reason that they link these two things together. Again, I want to also have implore people to go back and look at the specific statement that was put out by the city of Rockford and the Rockford Police Department. And when you look at that statement, you will see that on the call that came in at 5:45, they say approximately at 5:45 there was a call. They put it at the top. That's the first thing that you read. And then the call that came in at 5:33, which was before, they put that second in their statement. They say that simultaneously as the shooting at 5:45 happened is when this other incident happened. When we have on documented proof on a call log, we have a picture of the call log, and the call log says 5:33 shots fired, and then it says at 5:45 call for shots fired. So ask yourself, what would be the reason that the police department in the city of Rockford, when they released their statement, would for the shooting that came second, list it first and list the time that it took place, and then for the shooting that came first, list it second, not say the time that it took place, and then even use manipulative language to make it seem as if these incidents happened at the same time, when for a fact there's a 12-minute call difference in between them.
Bluetooth connected.
Again, it will be no need for any type of deception or any type of false narratives to be perpetrated when there's cameras all through here. They put their statement out the next day. The Justice Center, you think that it was hard for them to try to get jurisdiction to the cameras in the Justice Center? You think they had a hard time trying to get access to these cameras over here at the rescue? You think this is the first time they needed to get access to the cameras over here? You don't think they got that all set up in order? You know how many times they done had to go to these places to get cameras? They got that hook, line, and sinker. That's ABCs. They went. They went. Took the time throughout the day to see what other information may trickle in, what other things may happen. As Ari said at the end, a different a set of investigators came in the morning, said that they found shells at the scene. And so this is whoever the biggest issue that they have right now is that this shooting took place on video camera, that you can hear it all on audio. because the statement that they have put out regarding that it was 4 shots, it can't stand up. It can't stand up when we have audio of this area and we got audio of 7 shots. And it can't stand up that these shots took place down over there when we got visual evidence of them coming place here. And if it wasn't for that one bullet that hit the ground and bounced up and hit that table, then this would all be conjecture. We wouldn't be able to have nothing we could point to tangibly that say these bullets came by us. People would just be saying, again, that it's an incident, that it's a coincidence. But because that one bullet, not only did it hit the table, but it ricocheted down and then bounced up and hit that pole and landed there, we can tangibly say where the area that these shots was coming from. I think we got an audio file of the police call, so we want to play that. This is public information too. We want to play that real quick. Let me see.
My top news.
All right, here we go. Audio.
On an aggravated discharge of a firearm.
Oh, wait. Okay. All right, here we go.
This is District 16 on an aggravated discharge of a firearm. Rockford, 1733. This is District 16 on an aggravated discharge of a firearm. West State, Avon, Rockford, 1733. A white Ford Escape with black wheels. White Ford Escape with black wheels. 33 Rockford Sleepy Truck. Cast 9%.
Bluetooth disconnected. Bluetooth pairing.
Oh, shit. Okay, so again, that is a call coming in at 5:33. One call coming in at 5:33 saying shots fired near Rockford Police District HQ1. Then either the further explanation of the same call, which is what I would think because it still says 5:33, and they say shots fired 5:33 at West State Street in Avon. 5:33 West State Street in Avon. Shots fired. This will be the people who say that it was 4 shots fired and 3 hit their car. Now again, we have it documented while filming live that at that same time period on the video I say it's about 5:30. Bang 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 bang. We heard clearly that it was 7 shots. Clearly that it was 7 shots at 5:30, and there's no more shooting shots heard before that, and there's no more shots heard after that. So based on what the Rockford Police Department is saying and the city of Rockford is saying, at this point we have to believe that from our telling of what happened, there were 7 shots documented. We got the document. We got the audio and everything for it. 7 shots. And they are saying that there are 3 bullets inside of another car that they are linking to 4 shots. So 11 shots went off in the same time period, but only 7 of them was captured. And not only that, but 3 bullets, we heard 7 shots. 3 bullets landed inside of the car that would be up there at West State Street in Avon. And then 1 bullet went all the way up here in Grays Pass Terry, which would be in the first cluster. And then the last bullet came all the way over here and hit this. So that means 3 bullets made impact over there at West State Street in Avon. And then the other ones came this far down, made it this far down. We are doing our due diligence to stay away from conjecture, to stay away from hearsay, and to present factual statements and present factual evidence and present things that can tangibly be pointed to and tangibly be articulated and repeated to the community. I don't want to get into double talk or repeating myself or saying anything that would be conjecture or hearsay. But I would implore everybody in this community to pay attention to all of the events that took place yesterday. That's simple. I would implore everybody in the community to take note of all of the things that happened yesterday, to take note of what the Rockford Register-Star spoke about yesterday, WREX, WIFR. Besides the shooting outside of the Justice Center, take notes to the other stories of importance that were being regurgitated and being put out yesterday. I would also implore anybody who is new to the May 30th Alliance, who is new to the struggle to end police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice in Winnebago County, to go back and watch all of the videos that we have online. Watch the videos of Rockford Police Department officers coming during the fall and the winter and stealing sleeping bags from protesters in the middle of the night, stealing hand warmers from protesters in the middle of the night. Look and see the interim police chief, the ex-interim police chief, Randy Burke, come down to the city hall and call the memorials of murdered black and brown people trash and send his officers to desecrate them. I would implore you to go back and watch city workers, Rockford Public Works officials come out and cut the faces of people who have been murdered by the Rockford Police Department over 10 times, desecrate these memorials. Watch the vitriol in which they use when doing it. I would implore you to pay attention to the fact that the mayor of Rockford, Illinois, refuses to say the names of people who have been shot down in the streets by his police department and by the Winnebago County Sheriff deputies in his city. I would implore you to pay attention to the deep, long history of corruption that exists in all the institutions of Rockford and Winnebago County, including the institution of policing and the institution of the government. And I would implore you to share these videos with anybody that you know. Share the videos of the shooting, the assassination attempt that took place out here with everyone you know. Share the pictures of the videos of people being arrested while peacefully protesting in acts such as walking on the crosswalk, being charged with felony crimes by the Rockford Police Department and Winnebago County Sheriff deputies. Acts such as sitting in chairs and being arrested and charged with crimes by the Rockford Police Department and the Winnebago County Sheriff deputies. And after you have went and you have done that homework, and you have done that history, and you have done that research, and watched these videos and these receipts that we have kept over the past 333 days of this occupation, over the past year and a half of protests and demonstrations in Rockford, Illinois, then I will ask you to ask yourself this question. If somebody did attempt to assassinate members of the May 30th Alliance, who would be the first suspects that you have? We outside.